Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. This is Joe Shoup. I will be alone here today. I've asked the monitors to not join us. And I do see some people in there. If you could respond and let me know that you can hear me, that would be great. And anyway, let's get started. Yes. Yes, good morning. This is a very different type of Breakfast Club today, and basically it's in response to one of the companies that I represent and the owner of the company, Peter Gantner. And I wanted to say first that I am a loyal business associate and friend of not only Peter, but Doug and other people at the company. Unfortunately, people don't understand the Webinar Jam system. So I wanted to address today how to remove yourself from any mailing list. But first, I want to be able to explain how Webinar Jam works and why you would get a notice, or anyone would get a notice from the Breakfast Club. And then I want to address the letter or the live broadcast that Peter did about a week ago regarding people getting notices at Kohlebrands from the Breakfast Club, from me. And that particular broadcast was inappropriate only because there are inaccuracies, and people, including Peter, did not understand how the system works and why people were getting notices. I in no way am trying to recruit people from Kohlebrands to a company I am representing now called Power of Three Squared. A notice went out, and probably a little inaccuracy on the name of the company, but based on that particular broadcast, people are calling me and telling me it was inappropriate because things were said and insinuating that I would cross-recruit from one company to another. Number one, I don't do that. The purpose of the Breakfast Club is not to influence other people to take a look at this company. You have a choice to leave the broadcast and be able to eliminate and delete yourself from all notices. So I will cover that with you. And you can do that now, because what you'll notice each week when you register at any time over the last year, if you have registered for the Breakfast Club, which would be going to thebreakfastclub.ws, putting your information in and saying you want to join that broadcast that day. However, by doing that, Webinar Jam, which is the system we use for broadcasting, automatically puts you on a repeated list of invitations. There is no way, number one, to tell what company you came from. Number two, there is no way to delete that unless you request it. And the best way to request it is 1 hour before the call each Tuesday and 15 minutes prior to the call, there is a notice from the system that goes out, and that notice gives you the opportunity to be deleted from all mailings. If you send me a notice, I can delete you from my address book, and then I can go over to the Webinar Jam system and find your email in the system and delete it. And I do that for people who request it when they send it to the Breakfast Club broadcast at gmail.com. That takes a little longer. It can be a little inaccurate at times if I can't find your email address. The best way to do it is to, when you get a notice 1 hour prior to the meeting and 1 or webinar, and 15 minutes prior to it, you will get another one. And you, at that stage, you can delete it, and it goes right to Webinar Jam's database, and it takes you out of the system. So that is the way to remove yourself from the system. If you need to hear that again, there's a repeat going out. Now, I want to address this webinar and live broadcast that Peter did. Peter apparently was not understanding how the system works. I cannot find people. When I send a notice out, I can't find the people just from any particular company. They come in, the registrations come in the order in which they were received. So if I send a notice out, I have no way of telling. No way of telling what company you represent. People come from all different companies to the Breakfast Club. We happen to be promoting a particular company, and I'm going to address that in a second. But I want to still let you know that there is no way to avoid getting that message unless you delete yourself from the system or ask me to do it. But again, it would be much more accurate if you did it on that notice. I have always been loyal to the companies that I represent. I have never put on a campaign to cross-recruit anyone in any company. And I don't think it's fair that anyone is out there saying that, or the perception is that I'm doing it. In fact, one person is spreading a rumor that I have a list of all of the Koulibrand's people and that I am emailing them and I am communicating with them. That is totally inaccurate. The company would have never given me any database. Now, that same person does have a database and has inappropriately mailed to them. I know that because my friend in Canada is getting notices, or got notices, because the company did give that person the database in order to communicate with people in Canada. My friend now is actually left the company based on the conversation he had with that person. That person was inappropriately calling people in Canada and finding out why they weren't active or some reason. I don't know what it was. I know that it affected my people. One of my people left the company based on that. He didn't want anything to do with that. Now, for me, that should be looked at. And the person that actually did those phone calls should never have had that list to begin with, for any reason whatsoever, without notifying us that that person actually had the list and what they were up to. Now, that is not inaccurate. I have emails stating that, showing that. Now, again, I have never, ever taken a database of any kind, including from Webinar Jam, and tried to influence someone from another company to join me. The only reason you get the notice is because you registered to get that notice. And what we do on the Breakfast Club is what we do. Both Mark and I represent other companies. And what we do is teach people how to be successful, how to operate, how to communicate. And that is the purpose of the calls. It is not a recruiting call. It's to teach people. And yes, at this stage, we mention Power of 3 Squared on our call. We think that's appropriate. Now, let me address that. Over 2 months ago, I introduced Peter to the owners of Power of 3 Squared. In a brief conversation, they made an arrangement to meet. Why? Because Power of 3 Squared wanted to help the Koulibrand's people earn a little money to fund their projects. Peter was very well aware of that, and he agreed to meet with them and actually set the meeting to meet with them. And it was a few weeks out. We notified everybody of the call. Both Mark, myself, and the owners of the other company showed up. And unfortunately, Peter did not. He notified us at about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, letting us know that he wouldn't be there. I didn't see it at 4 o'clock in the morning. We waited on the call. Peter never arrived, and then told me later, well, I sent you an email. I think that's inappropriate. Those people waited on the call for 20 minutes while I tried to reach Peter. I don't think that's right. That's an accurate statement. No matter what anybody says, that is how it went. Yes, Peter did notify me, but about maybe 3 or 4 hours prior to that, at 4 in the morning, by way of an email and not a phone call. And the reason was that we had just left our convention a week earlier, and he was getting organized with stuff and so on, and just couldn't make that meeting. Well, we've never rescheduled the meeting, mainly because the other owners did not want to do that. However, maybe it wasn't a right fit anyway, but since the meeting was set, it should have been taken care of. And no big deal. I didn't tell anybody. I don't think it was appropriate, other than speaking with Mark over this stuff. But we had an opportunity to blend with another company and to be able to use a system that would have brought people to Cooler Brands and help them, getting paid immediately from the other company to help fund things. Now, maybe it wouldn't work, but that was inappropriate as well, to not give those people the courtesy of I'm not showing up. Now, Peter may be mad at this, and Peter, you're listening, maybe you are mad at that, but that's the truth. That's what happened. And the only reason I'm saying it is because, Peter, you went on a call and insinuated that I was using a database, cross-line recruiting, and then encouraged people not to go to the Breakfast Club. Now, that brings up another issue. I am a loyal friend and associate who would never, ever attempt to hurt anyone. During the first part of this year, one of the directors, let's call it, one of the board of directors was communicating with people through his organization, telling people to stop going to the Breakfast Club, to stop listening to me and Mark. I have that in writing from people who showed that they were being reprimanded for actually going to the Breakfast Club. Now, this was a board member. At that stage, now that was not the first incident with this person. That person had cross-lined recruit, had actually moved people from an organization to his own organization, and no one knows about that. The company knows about it because I reported it, and nothing was done. And now I am being reprimanded for having the Breakfast Club, inviting people who registered at the Breakfast Club, and I have no control of who gets those messages. And it's inappropriate. It's not right. The first thing that should have been done is a phone call to me. And I am no longer mad about it. But business-wise, it's not right to put my name out there and say that I am doing something inappropriate or don't go to the Breakfast Club. That's okay. I want to give everybody an opportunity at Cooler Brands right now to dismiss yourself from the Breakfast Club. Please go to the notice that you received and dismiss, delete, unsubscribe. Again, I would not rely on sending it to me to unsubscribe. I wouldn't do that because it's going to take me a while to get to them. It will automatically be done, and you won't have to hear from the Breakfast Club again. And that's okay with us. Every year, people sign up for the Breakfast Club from various companies and get these notices. People unsubscribe all the time, and some continue on. We have a database in the Breakfast Club of over 6,000 people. Every year, they make us update it, so we add an extra 1,000 or 1,200 a year. I'm probably going to add 2,000 this year. But there's about I think 10,000 or so people that I can't remember the total that actually get these notices. And they're from other companies that I used to represent and still represent at times. I don't get any notices from them and being mad at me because they understand the system. And I wanted everyone to understand how to delete yourself from the system, especially the Kula Brand people, because I have no intentions of, number one, even if you called me and said, I want information about the company, if you are with Kula Brands, you're going to have to get permission or find someone else in this company that you are attached to, not to me, because I will not sponsor you. I will not recruit, sponsor, try to recruit, influence, and encourage you to do that. And I wanted to make that very clear. And personally, I think that Peter owes me an apology. And Peter, again, if you're listening, that's not the way to conduct someone who's loyal to you. I have been very loyal. I have spent lots of time, recruited a lot of people to Kula Brands, and still support the Kula Brands process. I believe in Kula Brands. I think it's a great idea. And in no way have I broken any rules by communicating with people who registered here at the Breakfast Club. And I wanted to make that very clear. The appropriate thing now would be, Peter, for you to call me and speak with me and talk to me about this. And I will welcome your call. And I honor the fact that you would call me. As friends of all these years, it's important. I don't like airing dirty laundry here. And I think that's what you started to do. And I am getting so much flack from people about me having lists and calling people, and I am not doing that. So I wanted to make that clear to the members of Kula Brands and give them the opportunity to withdraw from the Breakfast Club by following the process that I gave you. So once again, get the notice that you get every week and unsubscribe, and you will be out of the system forever unless you subscribe to it. So I am sorry that this conversation has transpired. It was initiated by that live broadcast of basically, I'm going to use the word, trashing the Breakfast Club and insinuating that I was inappropriate, inaccurate, and possibly cross-recruiting. And the answer is I am not doing that. I have no intentions of doing that. And I am still a loyal fan and believer in Kula Brands. And I would encourage you, Peter, to give me a call, and so that we can discuss this and, have the appropriate outcome. And that outcome is that I am still a member, intend to be a member, and intend to support Kula Brands in any way that I can. So with that, I want to thank you for being here and listening. And you will be getting a replay for those people that are on that list. Thousands of people now will be getting a replay of this particular broadcast. And we will resume our normal broadcasts next week. And if you are not, or if you are a Kula Brand member and you continue to come here, we cannot guarantee that we will not be talking about other companies, which we do. We are very involved in a couple of companies, and we are focused on something right now which would have helped a lot of people. In fact, we're helping other companies. We have already initiated calls and meetings with other companies so they can actually participate and get people money into their pockets so they can support their own projects. So with that, again, yes, hi, Mark.
I want to address something.
Sure.
I'm not going to address Kula Brands, but I want to address this to the Breakfast Club family. And if the Kula Brand family would like to hear this, that's fine too. You've said the things as far as the Breakfast Club, what we believe in and what we do. And I want to reiterate that. We don't have the Breakfast Club to harvest email addresses. Now, Joe, I'm going to say something that you don't even know about. I guess about 6, 7, 8 weeks ago, I was told that somebody said that, oh, Joe Shoup, all he does, he harvests emails. You need to be careful of him. And I defended you to the hilt. You don't even know about this because, see, that's negativity to me, and I don't deal with negativity. But you never knew about this. And see, I'm going to say this to everyone because I'm about integrity. I'm not about money because you can get money by hook or crook. But integrity and a good name, that's so valuable that it's hard to get that back. And I know you, and I'm going to defend you to the hilt because I know you. Now, I'm going to say this. With me, if anybody chirps and says anything, they need to put their name to it. Because if I ever say anything about anybody or whatever, I'm going to put my name to it. And then you're welcome to call me, email me, and we'll have a conversation about it. And that's something that people need to understand. That when you say something, you need to put your name to it because that's integrity. If you're brave enough to say something, whether it be positive or negative, be brave enough to put your name to it. That's not what the Breakfast Club is about. It's about teaching people how to communicate and how to have a successful business working from home. And that's all. That's the reason why people like to come to the Breakfast Club, because we don't cross recruit. We don't have that. I had somebody quite a long time ago accuse me of trying to take one of their people. And guess what? They found out that I didn't, and that person that I was accused of trying to take, that person came to the Breakfast Club to try to recruit everybody from the Breakfast Club to some water instrument. And then recently, that person did something that wasn't nice to me, but I picked up the phone, I called that person, and I got that situation straightened out. And the person loves me today for the way I handled that. And they apologized to me. So what I'm saying, and the reason I'm saying that is this. Here's a lesson for everybody to understand and learn. Friendship ends where business begins. In other words, business is business, friendship is friendship. So I don't mix the two. And Joe knows this. If I think Joe is wrong, he knows I will not agree with him and I won't side with him because he's my business partner. He knows that about me. And so I'm just saying that because we need to think about that. Because if we're going to conduct business with each other, we need to conduct it with integrity. Because again, like I said, if you do business with integrity, the money hunts you down. So I just want to say that. And like I said, I don't need to address Cooler Brands. And I'll just leave it at that. But Joe, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, thanks. And you know, many times we've been accused of that. I'm getting an echo. Here we go. We can being accused of harvesting and so on. That's okay, but that'll always happen, and I don't care. I just think the appropriate way is to make the phone call and address it and find out what's going on and what can be changed to do it, but not to get on a live broadcast and then have people, say the perception was that I was being trashed, I was being threatened, and that I was doing something inappropriate, and I need to defend that. That is not true. I don't do those things. And that's not the purpose of the Breakfast Club, is any harvesting. Remove yourself if you don't want to be here. That's the bottom line. Remove it. I can't help it if I send out a private notice and I take the database from Webinar Jam. I do that, but I have no idea who to eliminate. So that's why you get the personal notice as well as from the system. So please eliminate yourself from this and have the integrity to own up to what you do and to first of all, confront the people who you have problems with and not do these kinds of broadcasts. Now, I am here now doing that broadcast in defense of what has happened. I don't deserve that, and I don't want to do any more of this. I don't want any repercussions of this. What I am requesting, Peter, again, that you're listening, is to call me so that we can have our business and friendship conversation and put an end to this. Too many people are out there now saying things based on what you said to people, and it's not fair. And with that, there are many other things that we could address that go on in business, including in Kula Brands, that people don't know about. And that is to be done privately. So with that, I want to thank you for being here today and listening. And my goal is that we put this behind us and not have to speak of this again and have any kind of war go on here. That would be inappropriate. And I don't think anybody wants any kind of a verbal internet war here. But I am again a loyal follower and friend of Peter Gantner and business associate. And that's the way I want to leave it. So have a great day, everybody. Thanks for being here. And we'll see you next week, next Tuesday at the Breakfast Club. Have a great day, everybody.
Peace and blessings, everyone.